From the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development, this is Tennessee Workforce Today. Here now is Chris Cannon.
Hi everyone and welcome to Tennessee Workforce Today. For an inmate about to leave prison, the transition into the workplace can be a tough one. It takes a lot of time and effort while the inmate is still incarcerated to make that adjustment into the workforce as smooth as possible. The Tennessee Department of Correction has a program where inmates go through different phases of that transition so they are ready to work after they've served their time. Taurean James is a superintendent with TDOC. Taurean, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Go over what a transition center is. It's much different than something in a prison.
Correct. Although all of our facilities focus on reentry, Mark Luttrell is solely focused on the reentry of those offenders who are about to reenter society.
Go over the phases. It's not something that you just put somebody in there. They're phases that you make an offender go through before in this transition program.
Correct. What we do is target a population who is 18 to 36 months away from incarceration. We look at these offenders and they enter into phase one of the program where they participate in cognitive behavioral programming. Then they go to phase two, which is a community work release program, but it's supervised by an officer. Then as they transition into phase three, they obtain jobs in the free world with individuals like you and I. And then they use those funds to save up for their actual release and reentry into society.
So in the second and third phases, they're actually out into the community. Is that something that every offender who is incarcerated can take part in?
No, not every offender can take part. What we do is we have a stringent classification process to ensure that we're getting the right offenders in the right bed. Although sex offenders are not allowed to participate in the program, we do have programming for them in our other facilities throughout the state.
And reentry programs are so critical when they're making that transition from incarceration into the community again. Are you finding a lot of support with employers?
We are. We're finding a great deal of support. As you know, our effort is to reduce recidivism throughout the state of Tennessee. So what we try to do is make sure that we give the offenders the essential skills needed as they transition back into society. At Mark Luttrell, we ensure that the offender has IDs, birth certificates, social security cards, and those are things that are offered at our other facility. But what it does at Mark Luttrell is they have those skills, and then we add the bonus of in giving them a job, an actual employer, and then they're able to retain that job upon their release.
So does TDOC have a lot of interaction with employers in the area to try to set these programs up? Right.
We work with of course, we work with Workforce and Development. We work with several companies in the Memphis area to ensure that the offender is getting the best opportunity they can to be an actual provider for their families upon their release from incarceration.
And it really is a win-win for everyone because the community is getting someone who can do the job here where the workforce is, unemployment's low at this point, and it's actually helping the employer find that, but it's also helping the offender get that jump start on the new life outside of the walls.
Correct. That is correct. These offenders we have vocational skills, vocational programs throughout the state. So actually getting a job where they're able to implement those skills prior to incarceration, ensure that they're getting what they need to be successful upon their release is ultimately our goal for each offender.
If employers want to learn more about this transition program, where should they go to get that information?
They can go to tn.gov/corrections.
All right, Taurean, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good day.
All right.
And that's our time for this edition of Tennessee Workforce Today. You can catch a new episode on the first and third Monday of every month. From all of us here at the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development, I'm Chris Cannon. Have a great day.